Welcome to Sense and Nonsense A to Z, where we pick topics based off of the letter of the day. Today is episode 23 of season 1, featuring the letter W.
We're family and we're your hosts, AT and Z. So let's get started. Starting off with Vitam.
Vitam?
It's actually spelled with a W, but yes, Vitam.
Oh.
It's Polish for hello.
Oh.
And you're a little Polish.
I'm a little bit Polish, yeah.
So I'm going to start off with a little bit of sports, which is Wimbledon.
Okay.
It's going on right now. And unfortunately, Serena Williams lost in the first round.
Really?
Yeah. The tournament wraps up with the women's final on Saturday, July 9th, and the men's on Sunday, July 10th. So, yeah, my girl's out. What are you going to do?
Wow.
I know.
She usually dominates.
I know. But, yeah, you know, she's getting older. So,
yeah.
You know, yeah, I get it. I got a bizarre story for you.
Okay.
Letter W, whistling scrotum.
What?
Yeah. So, 72-year-old man from Ohio went to the ER because of some hissing noise coming from his genitals. Scans revealed that his lungs had collapsed and air was building up inside of his body, and there was some whistling going on from down there. The source of the whistling was an open wound on the left side of his scrotum. The wound was left over from a testicle surgery that he had to reduce the swelling a couple months earlier. And the air was escaping from there.
Oh my God.
I know.
Can you imagine?
And what a pickup line that is, right? Hey, honey.
I hope
want
he's
to check out my whistling scrotum?
I hope he's not picking anybody up at 72 with that. That's really dirty old man territory.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So anything going on with you, Z?
Spending a lot of time by the pool. I'm actually getting tan.
That's nice.
It's weird. I haven't been tan in 25, 30 years. I go white. I get red.
Yes.
I have a strange tan line, which is like a different shade of white, but not really tan.
Okay.
But right now I'm actually getting tan.
Like, oh yeah, look at that.
Like tan.
Yeah.
It's weird. The body chemistry changes so much.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
It's I'm entering this phase again, because when I was young, I used to get tan.
Young.
I would say probably when I was 15 or 16, it started to change, and
right.
I didn't tan anymore.
Yeah. Me with my olive skin, I used to tan real easy. I do get a little red, but I do tan still. Yeah. So tan is good. I like tan.
It's not bad. It's like
makes
wow,
you look healthy,
I look healthy.
Really.
I know, for like the first time in 30 years. I look decently healthy.
That's all I got in the news.
Okay.
For W.
All right.
Well, I have some other stuff, but let's move on.
Okay.
I have the 10 questions W edition.
Okay.
Oh yeah? You know, these weird letters are just giving me a hard time. But anyway.
I wouldn't have thought W would have been that hard.
Yeah, you're right. It was easier than the U.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
And I'm just not looking forward to Y and Z and X. Sorry. So we'll see. Okay. So first question. What special thing do you do for wrinkles?
Olive oil. Smush olive oil on my wrinkles.
Oh, okay. And you know I go argan oil.
Yeah. Seems to be working.
Do you use the Greek stuff?
Greek olive oil?
Yeah.
I think it's Moroccan.
Oh.
Actually. Yeah.
Oh. EVOO though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. Okay. Second question. Do you play Wordle?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I know people who do.
I do
as well. Hooked on it.
I know. Me too. Yeah. It's like I need another thing to be addicted on.
Yeah. Or need to make time to do every day, right?
Yeah.
Please. Okay. Next question. Wayne blank.
You know, something just popped into my head, but I don't want to say it. I don't want him. I want a different one.
I want a better one.
I don't want him.
You know who I thought you were going to come up with?
Who?
Wayne Brady.
Oh, he's on one of my kids' cartoons.
He's got a good
No,
voice.
he does.
Yeah.
And he's very quick as well.
Oh,
He's very
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
He was
very good.
on The Masked Singer.
That's right. He was.
Yeah.
Did he? And he won, didn't he?
I think he did. I think
he
you're
won
right.
that
I
one
think he
year,
did
yeah.
win. Yeah.
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 No, the person who came into my head was Wayne Newton. And I'm like,
Oh, that was okay.
I'm like, but
You wanted a better one.
Yeah, honestly, like Donkashane, that's it. That's all there is. And
I know.
I no.
And the Las Vegas stuff too.
Yeah, but even then, it's like it's not like he's a favorite or anything. No offense.
No. I mean, first thing that comes in your head. Okay.
No. I'm changing.
I want a better one.
I'm changing mine to Gretzky. Okay.
Okay, that would be mine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Actually, I was thinking of Wayne from Letterkenny, but people might not. Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Have you ever seen Letterkenny?
I've seen it. Yeah.
I like him though. I like Jared Kiso. I like him very much. Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
Last wedding you attended. This is a rough one.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I don't want to say actually.
Okay. Let me go to another question.
Okay.
Next question. What do you think about wax museums?
They freak me out.
Aren't they?
Yeah. They're really weird.
I know.
It's not right.
I go to them though.
I've only been once. And it was really bizarre.
Well, the one time that we went, we were just like, taking a bunch of pictures and ganging around each one, whatever.
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe. Oh, we're going to have a picture with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're freaky, aren't they?
They are. It's not right.
Yeah. Okay. Ever been to Washington, D.C.? And I'm not talking about passing by on 95, right?
Yeah, driving through is the only way. I've never been.
Me too. That's terrible.
I know. It is.
I remember my class trips. I'm thinking maybe it was 5th grade or 6th grade. I think it's 6th grade. Went to Washington, D.C. And my mom did not approve of that.
No.
Yeah.
I think that we had one class trip there too. And for whatever reason, I didn't go either.
Yeah. Yours might have been an overnight.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah,
probably was.
Yeah.
But no, I never have gone.
Me neither. Isn't that a shame?
It is.
I'd really like to see some of the stuff.
I know. I'd like to go stand at the bottom of the Lincoln statue.
Yeah,
and look
that's exactly what I was thinking. Sure.
Yeah.
We should go.
I know.
You and I, seriously, you and I should go.
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you work out?
I usually do every other day.
Oh, okay.
So unless it falls on just a terrible day,
like got too much to do.
Yeah. Or like I don't feel well.
Yeah.
It's usually like every other day,
especially
with it being summer and the pool's open. So I like to go and do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if for some reason it's like raining or something like that, then I'll do the bike or something instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I shoot for every day.
I know you do.
I didn't do it today because I had to be at the oral surgeon.
Yeah.
at 8:15 and he's an hour away. So that wasn't going to happen. Yeah.
Well, I don't do it so much for the aerobic exercise as for strength. So that's why I do it every other day to give my muscle a day to repair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I got a kid who's very strong.
Yes, he is.
So
he's getting big,
and he's not just getting big. He is quite big.
He's big already.
Yeah. Sometimes he forgets that he's real big. He's like a puppy that's grown into a dog.
Yeah.
And he forgets and he'll flop on me or something. And it's like, oh, ouch. So, so I got to be able to, wrangle that a bit.
Yeah. Okay. This one should be easy.
Okay.
Favorite Wizard of Oz character?
Ooh, it's not easy.
Oh, okay. That's
sorry. That's not easy.
Maybe the next one will be easy. Ever since I was a kid, it was always a Scarecrow for me.
Really?
Yeah, because I just like the way his demeanor, the way he danced, that sort of thing. How close he was with
Dorothy. I think
Dorothy.
I would probably Glinda.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I looked forward to seeing her.
Yeah, I think Glinda.
Yeah, that's a good one.
She seemed to know what was up.
Yeah, she was smart. She was pretty and smart.
Yeah, and she was nice too. And
and she kicked butt.
Yeah, she did.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, so I think Linda.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next one. Waffles. Is it for breakfast, dessert, or main course?
All of the above.
All of the above. Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah.
Do you do the chicken waffles? Do you do that?
I've tried it one time. That doesn't really float my boat.
Okay.
But I do love waffles. I love them for breakfast, and I'll have breakfast at any time of day, really. Yeah. But we also had touched one time on the ice cream between the waffles.
Exactly.
I mean, come
on. That's the dessert one.
That's the dessert one. So let's just face it. You can eat waffles anytime, really. What about you?
For me, it's the breakfast thing for me, but I do like the dessert too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do chicken waffles. A lot of people do.
It's just not
it's a southern thing.
It is. Yeah.
And we're from New Jersey, so
we don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, we throw ice cream on everything.
As a matter of fact, I got some ice cream today. I got some Baskin Robbins cotton candy ice cream. I don't know why, but I saw it and I was like, oh, I must.
It's pretty. Okay, next question. Do you use witch hazel?
Not really. I have some, but I don't really use it.
And I got to tell you something I found out about witch hazel.
What?
Because I was thinking about doing sense or nonsense with witch hazel.
Okay.
So I did a little research and I moved on to something else, just so you know. But do you know those divining sticks that the old timers used to use to find water?
Yeah.
That was done with witch hazel branches.
Huh.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's a little tidbit.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's an astringent, so you can use it all different kind of ways.
Yeah.
But it's also used when making bath bombs.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I don't often use it either. I don't even know if I have any right now. So yeah. Okay. So last question.
Okay.
How accurate are weather people?
The guys that we have down here on ABC 11 seem to be quite accurate, but nowhere else in the country I have found them to be so accurate.
It's one of those things that, you're wrong 50% of the time. And you still have a job,
Yeah, they're used to, we used to bust chops about that all the time, but these guys that are down here, I mean,
they're pretty good.
Like 90% of the time they win the most accurate award.
That's cool.
Yeah. If you flip stations, forget it. They're all over the place. But if you stay with ABC 11, they are accurate. I think the people on the other station should watch the ABC 11 guys first and then be like, hey, this is what's going on, so they can get their numbers up.
It's almost an endorsement.
Yeah.
Talking about endorsement, I just want to do a little shout out while I'm thinking of this.
Okay.
Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, I love Wikipedia.
I do too. I use it almost every day.
Use it a lot,
and they really don't ask for much.
No, they don't. I do the donations when they ask.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. You have to, because
it's a resource that you use all the time. And,
absolutely.
You can't use it and not donate. That's kind of a jerk move,
Exactly. And it's not like you have ads all over the place with it either.
No, and they're really like asking for like $3.
They're asking for nothing when you think about it.
So it's like, come on, you can pony up $3. Don't have your specialty coffee that day and help Wikipedia out.
Exactly. You give me those specialty coffees. What are they? $10 now? It's ridiculous.
Some of them are really expensive. Yeah.
So come on.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love Wikipedia.
Love it. I thought you were going to ask me a question about watermelon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought that was for sure going to be a food one.
Which leads me into sense or nonsense.
Oh, really? Because that's about watermelon.
It is.
See, I knew something had to be.
There you go.
I
know. It's like, why didn't you ask me any questions about watermelon? Because I was saving it. That's why.
Oh, okay.
So
what's the category?
Watermelon.
Oh, watermelon. What a surprise.
Sense or nonsense? Square-shaped watermelon are grown in Japan.
Yes, sense.
It is a thing. Yep.
Yes,
they also have heart-shaped ones.
Really?
Yes. As the watermelon begins to grow, it's placed in a clear-shaped mold, and then with the root still sticking out,
Uh-huh.
still attached.
Yeah.
And then it'll just keep
Conform?
growing and take the shape of it.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. I even saw one of Frankenstein's head. But the square ones are
Yeah.
very popular because, they stack
Yeah.
and they cut well too.
I bet they do. Put them in
Yeah.
a cart real nice. Put them in a
exactly.
fridge real
Exactly.
nice.
Right. You
Yeah,
got it.
nice
They
pieces.
store real well. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Smart.
it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, they're very expensive too because
I'm
of
sure
that.
they are.
Yeah. Okay. Sense or nonsense. Watermelon are genetically modified to be seedless.
Sense?
They're actually a hybrid.
Oh.
Yeah. They did it with crossing a watermelon with 22 chromosomes with a watermelon with 44 chromosomes. That's how they came up with it.
So it is genetically modified. That's genetically modifying a thing.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Splicing genes, even though it might have been the old-fashioned way, it still was.
Okay, I'll give you that too.
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
It was actually started 50 years ago. Seedless.
Wow. I
like,
like
really?
seedless ones.
Yeah, I do too. And they say that the white ones are edible.
Yeah.
No problem with that. Which leads me to my next question.
Okay.
Sense or nonsense? A watermelon will not grow in your belly if you eat the seeds.
It better not. Sense.
Watermelon seeds are actually quite nutritious. High levels of magnesium, zinc, and protein. But it's recommended that you chew them, then spit them out.
Yeah.
Exactly. And of course,
I would think
a watermelon is not going to grow in anybody's belly.
No.
But
it would scratch, probably scratchy. Scratches.
I'm sure it's not good.
Your intestine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when you were a kid? Don't swallow those. They'll grow in your belly.
Yeah. Yeah. All the dumb stuff adults tell you when you're young.
Exactly. That was one of them.
Yep.
Okay, I have some factoids.
Okay.
Watermelons were cultivated in Egypt more than 5,000 years ago.
Wow.
Egyptians depicted watermelon in drawings on the walls of tombs and even left watermelons with the dead bodies.
Oh my goodness.
For the afterlife.
Eating watermelons in the afterlife.
Not eating. Yeah.
Spitting seeds. That's how you haunt people.
Yeah, there you go.
Spit watermelon seeds at them.
Watermelon spread from Africa to China in the 10th century. China grows more watermelon than any other country. Also, it's common to bring a watermelon as a gift if you go visit someone.
Nice. Like a pineapple in Hawaii.
Exactly.
Nice.
And you put a bow on it.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. According to Guinness World Records, the largest watermelon ever grown was in 2005 in Arkansas, weighing in at 268.8 pounds.
Holy crap.
I know. I was like, wow, I got to tell her this one.
That's massive.
It's huge, right? Another record for watermelon is seed spitting, set in 1995 at 75 feet, 2 inches.
Oh my goodness. Give yourself a whiplash.
Exactly. Watermelons are 92% water. Early explorers sometimes carried watermelons instead of canteens. Historians believe that watermelons came to the U.S. with African slaves in the 1500s. Over 300 types of watermelons are grown in the U.S., although only 50 varieties are grown for grocery stores. I'm like, 50 varieties, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've
only really seen like 2.
I know. Have you ever had the yellow watermelon?
No,
I haven't either. My mother has, and she said it was pretty good, but it's not quite as sweet as the red.
I like it when it's sweet.
Me too. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Talk about sweet. We think of watermelon as a fruit because of its sweet flavor, but watermelon is actually a vegetable.
No kidding.
It belongs to the cucurbit family with pumpkins, cucumbers, and squash. Yeah. Watermelon has more lycopene than any other fruit or vegetable, which is powerful antioxidant, which can reduce inflammation and destroy free radicals.
Nice.
Watermelon is also high in vitamin C and a good source of fiber. Americans eat more watermelon by weight than any other fruit, of course.
Well, yeah, it's heavy as heck.
Yeah.
The rind is like an inch thick.
Yeah, exactly. And you just don't eat a little piece of it. When you eat watermelon, you eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watermelon producers in America grow more than 4 billion pounds of watermelon annually.
Wow.
And the last thing I have here is Mark Twain loved watermelon. He called it the food of angels.
Oh,
Yeah, isn't that sweet?
yeah.
There you have it.
Nice.
Watermelon and Mark Twain.
I like Mark Twain.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. For my favorite W movie, I have picked The Witches of Eastwick, 1987.
Oh my God, I haven't seen that forever.
Yeah, this is an old favorite.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And when I told my mother that I was doing Witches of Eastwick, she was like, "Oh, we love that movie." And I was like, now that I'm thinking about it, I used to watch that movie a lot when I was a kid, and it was really inappropriate. She's like, she goes, "It wasn't inappropriate. It was fun." And then I watched it and I'm like, yeah, this was inappropriate for a 10-year-old. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because
I got through it.
I did.
You grew up okay. Thank God.
I was okay. Yeah, I wasn't scarred for life or anything. Maybe I was, and I just don't know.
Maybe.
I love the cast of this movie: Jack Nicholson, Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer. So in the uptight, small New England town of Eastwick, 3 best friends, Alexandra Medford, Jane Spofford, and Suki Ridgemont, get together every Thursday night to support each other and lament their lots over drinks and endeavors like macrame and Chinese aphrodisiac cooking. They decide they're too young to just pack it in because they are all single at this point in their lives, in their late 30s, early 40s. One of their husbands has died and 2 of them are divorced. So they decide over a large pitcher of martinis to discuss the type of man they should be looking for. Okay. So they decide that this man should be from out of town, considering what's in town, and he should be somebody nice with a brain that you could talk to,
right?
Someone you could really be yourself with. And then they really start, as they start drinking more, they really start getting into it. A tall, dark prince traveling under a curse. He should be romantic, someone not too handsome, with nice eyes, a nice butt, and a penis that works. So they wind up conjuring Daryl Van Horn, who is played by Jack Nicholson.
Right.
And he describes himself as your average horny little devil.
Yep.
And the first time we encounter him, we hear him before we see him. It's at a recital where Jane, played by Susan Sarandon, is playing the cello, and there's a little 3-piece going on, and this concert is just delightfully boring. And we begin to hear the otherworldly snoring going on, and everyone is turning around to see who's making this massive racket. And we see him just leaning back, his head's back, he's all askew, and he's just balls out snoring and grunting like a total maniac.
Right.
And it's echoing all through the hall, and you just know this is not a normal guy. And everyone else is disturbed and pissed off, but Alex, played by Cher, and Suki, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, are just laughing. Then the concert ends, and he falls down and wakes him up. And then he gets up and he's just clapping and cheering louder than everyone else. And he's just being completely obnoxious about it. And his eyes are just boring into Jane during this ovation. And Jane is very repressed at this point.
Right.
And she's just kind of off put by this whole thing. But he starts to seduce these women one by one with charm and with magic. And the town of Eastwick is in no way ready for a polyamorous relationship, to say the least.
Right.
The so-called medieval morality runs rampant, and especially wrought is one of the most prominent members of the town, select woman Felicia Alden, played by Veronica Cartwright. And her husband, Clyde, played by Richard Jenkins, employs Suki at the local newspaper. And as the affair goes on, she gets more and more uptight about this whole situation, and she pressures her husband to fire Suki, and she pressures some of the other mothers to take out their children from Jane's music classes and stuff like that. So the women are getting called all sorts of names, and people are speculating what's going on up in this huge mansion. And Suki has 6 kids and Alex has a daughter. So they're
Mhm.
all just bearing the brunt of this affair that's going on. And the longer it goes on, the more this seems to be driving Felicia mad. And she's just ranting and raving like a possessed lunatic. The things that she is saying are way far out there. She thinks that Daryl Van Horn is the devil and that evil has come to Eastwick. And eventually, these spoutings of this raving lunatic that used to be his wife are too much for him. And he just winds up killing her while she's having one of her craziest episodes just to get her to stop and have some peace. And
She was like possessed.
She's like possessed.
Yeah.
She is like completely off her rocker.
Yeah.
And he just can't get her to stop. He can't get her to see reason, nothing. So he winds up killing her. And the women feel responsible for this because they've begun to understand that they have power, especially when they're together. The words that they say and the things that they do make things happen, and they feel responsible for Felicia's death. And as a result, they decide that it's best to stop seeing Daryl, even though they really don't want to. Daryl does not take this well at all.
Not at all.
He gets very upset when he's shut down, when he tries to reach out, and he starts to turn on them, making their worst fears a reality. They're finding this out as they're discovering that they're all pregnant. Suki gets the worst of it. She's in unbearable pain. She's in the hospital, and the doctors don't understand what's making her ill because they can't find a reason for it, but they all know that it's Daryl that's doing this. So she entreats Alex to make him stop. So to get Daryl to stop torturing them, they decide to make up with him. And then they send him into town to go get bagels and ice cream so they can steal his grimoire and try and banish him using the text and a voodoo doll that Alex sculpts. Everything they do to the doll, we see happen to him. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty. They stick pins in him. They send him tumbling down the street covered in feathers. You know, he winds up in the church. He's covered in ice cream. He's got feathers, and they do this disgusting thing with the cherry pits that I'm not even going to talk about. It's so gross.
This part is all funny.
Oh, it's so funny. While he's ranting and raving in the church about the affliction of women. And then maybe God has made a mistake here, and that perhaps if it is a mistake, then they could do something about it, like find a cure, invent a vaccine, or build up their immune systems. You know, he's like, what do you think? 20 push-ups a day and you never have to deal with a woman again. So he knows that the girls are doing this to him. And once he kind of collects himself a bit, he starts to drive home like a lunatic. And they're like, well, maybe this worked, but what if it didn't work?
What are we going to do?
Yeah. If it didn't work and he's going to come home, he's going to see this place is a wreck. We've got it in this. So they frantically start cleaning up as he's driving home, and they're throwing his voodoo doll around. And as they are, he's like flying through the back window of the car. He's hitting the guardrails. I mean, he's slamming all over the place, and the beast in him is breaking free. And his right hand and his right foot are all animal and beastly looking, and he's got fangs, and he's just like, if he could be foaming at the mouth, he would have been. His true nature is just coming out, and he can't hide it anymore. And he walks in, and the girls see him and they're like, oh crap, you know, like we're in a lot of trouble here. And then he starts unleashing on them, and they run to the kitchen to go get the voodoo doll back. And he's just like kind of breaking the house down, and you know, all this stuff is happening, and the kitchen's on fire, and they wind up dropping the doll, which breaks into 3 pieces. And that makes him shed the last vestiges of the human portion of himself. And he turns into some kind of like gigantic beast. And then they each wind up taking a piece of the voodoo doll and throwing it to the fire. And that's what eventually does banish him. And then we see 18 months later, they have all wound up living in this mansion together with all the kids. And they have the 3 little babies who are about 9 months old at this point. And they can't think about Daryl when they're all together because they don't want to conjure him back. But even just this little tiny discussion that they have of don't think about him kind of brings him back to all the TVs in this big room where there are a bunch of television sets. And he's so proud of his little boys. He sees his little boys and he's like, come to daddy, give me kisses. And he's so happy.
And they're all boys, am I right?
They're all boys.
Yep.
Yep, all boys.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in
And-
a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and they each have the color hair of their mother, black hair, red hair, blonde hair. And they come in and he's just like, he's cooing and he's so happy to see them. And then the ladies come up and they're just like, and they shut all the
Turn it
TVs off.
Yeah.
And they kind of banish him again. But I just love this movie so much. I just, for some reason,
It
I
was
don't
very
know.
different at the time.
It was very different. It
Yeah.
was something that we had never seen before, especially women kind of taking this kind of power we
Right.
hadn't seen before.
Right.
And I've seen this movie so many times. Like I said, I grew up watching it inappropriately when I was young, but then throughout my life I've watched, and it's always been a favorite that I've come back to.
Yeah.
And I really loved all three of these women together.
Me too. Me too.
They just
Well,
were
I'm a big
perfect.
Cher fan.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
You know, and I love Susan Sarandon too.
All
Yeah.
three of them, I love them very
Mhm.
much. And I found out later that George Miller, who directed this movie, didn't want Cher to be in it. He didn't want her
Really?
to be in the movie. Mm-mm.
No kidding.
And he called her up and he gave her a rash and a crap about it. It was on her 40th birthday.
No
And she
kidding.
was like crying and he's just kind of unloading on her. And then she finds her chutzpah and she's like, listen, you didn't find me under a rock. You know,
Yeah.
I've been nominated for all these things and I'm
I
kicking
mean, that
butt.
wasn't her first movie.
Exactly. Like, who do you think you are? And all this other stuff. And I love it because in this same year, she goes on to win the Academy Award for Moonstruck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like she rocked this movie just
Mhm.
out of spite.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but I didn't know that at the time. But knowing that now, I'm
Sure.
like, oh, good for you. You
Yeah.
know?
It's
Sorry.
different. It's a different movie. It's
Yeah.
fun, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and all like every movie, like The Craft and Charmed and everything that came after it was kind of inspired by this movie. I also want to say that Michelle Pfeiffer is also a part of the Marvel universe, playing
That's
Janet
right.
Van Dyne,
That's
who
right.
is the superhero mother of the Wasp in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And she was also in Avengers Endgame in 2019 and was a part of the final battle against Thanos, where Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr.,
There you
gave
go.
his life to restore all the lives lost in the snap. And then
Mhm.
she attended Tony Stark's funeral service. And Paul Rudd said that many of the Avengers were a bit starstruck by her. And
Really?
yeah, he said there were all these kind of like little camps, like this is the Thor camp, this is the Guardians camp, and this is the Ant-Man camp.
Mhm.
And he's like, he felt like really like they had the coolest one because Michelle Pfeiffer was in it, and the
Oh,
rest of the
that's-
guys are kind of
that's cool.
starstruck by her.
That's cool.
Mhm. And she's going to be reprising her role in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and that's set to premiere in the summer of 2023.
Very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to talk about The Who.
Okay.
They originally started as the Detours back in London in 1962 with Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend, John Entwistle, and the original drummer was Doug Sandham. In February of 1964, they discovered that there was another group called the Detours. So they changed their name to The Who.
Good thing.
Yeah. The band had secured and failed an audition with Fontana Records in early 1964. The label's producer didn't like the drummer. In addition, the drummer was more than 10 years older than everybody else, and his wife was having some issues with the guy staying out late and stuff. So their management and the guys all decided that it might be time to replace him. In comes Keith Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So officially they formed in April of 1964. You know how you go to the birthday book?
Yeah.
I go to Rolling Stone,
Mhm.
like greatest this from
Mhm.
Rolling Stone, greatest that. So here's what Rolling Stone has to say about these guys, okay?
Yeah.
Roger Daltrey, number 8, greatest singer of all time. But as far as lead singers, frontmen, they
Mhm.
have him as number 6. And I'm kind of with them on that.
Okay.
You and I had discussed Robert Daltrey way back, and
Yeah.
you know, he doesn't have the very best voice,
Mhm.
but as far as a front man
Mhm.
and presence,
Yeah,
and
presence.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's definitely up there. So I was going through some pictures of him, and I remember the story way back when of a photographer having an appointment with him. And this is very, very early in his career. And he was just kind of like in a bad mood. He really didn't want to do this. And, she kind of hung out with him and just said, whenever you're ready and that sort of thing. And from what I remember, it took a long, long time. And I guess they were like at this beach place. She just encouraged him, hey, why don't you just go in the water and I'll just take some pictures. This one amazing photo that she took of him. Amazing. It's him in the water up to his nose. So all you can see is nose, his eyes, and his hair, and his curly hair, and everything else is blue.
Cool.
And his eyes just pop out because his eyes are so blue.
Yeah.
Also, what a fantastic photo.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So Pete Townsend, Rolling Stone has him at number 10. I would definitely disagree with them on this one.
Mhm.
I would have him within my top 5. There's a writer, a big writer. His name is Dave Marsh. He was the editor of Cream magazine. He also did some writing for Newsday, Village Voice, and Rolling. In his top 10, he has Pete Townsend number 3.
Mm.
I'm not sure I would put Pete Townsend in front of Eddie Van Halen, but he would be my top 5. He was known for his power chords. He was known for using feedback. In fact, he worked with Marshall, who's that PA company, the big PA company, and they developed together that Marshall stack, which was a huge output.
Yeah,
They were famous for that. John Entwistle, the Ox. He was also called Thunderfingers. It's like Thunderfingers? Okay.
Yucky. That's yucky.
Yeah, I know. He's in Rolling Stone, number 3. I'm with them on that 100%. If you watch some of the videos, he's a genius. He's effortless, just amazing. Unfortunately, he died in 2002 at the age of 57.
Wow.
Keith Moon, a legendary drummer.
He's an animal.
An animal behind John Bottom. He's ranked at number 2.
I don't think anybody disputes that.
No, he was an animal. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Just like the Muppets.
Just like the Muppets. Yeah. I think they probably based him off of Keith Moon.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. And unfortunately, he died in 1978, age of 32. But he was known for his exploding toilets. They go to different places. Yeah. What a prankster, huh?
I mean, come on.
I know.
Boys.
I know. Boys will be boys. I know. Well, rock and roll.
Yeah. But I mean,
back in the 70s,
this would never occur to a woman to do.
No. I should say 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Who is considered one of the most influential rock bands of all time. They've sold over 100 million records worldwide. They're known for their unique style and their mega PA systems and synthesizers. I'm going to go through their albums real quick. My Generation, 1965, and that's, of course, the song My Generation and The Kids Are All Right. Their second album, 1966, a quick one. Cute name.
Yeah.
Third is The Who Sellout, 1967. I Can See for Miles is on that. Then in 1969, they did 2 huge festivals, Woodstock and Isle of Wight. Also 1969, Tommy.
Big deal.
Huge deal.
Big deal.
Rock opera.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such an innovation at that time. I know they were on the map, but I think that really put them on the map.
Yeah.
The next album, 1971, is Who's Next? And that happens to be my favorite album. Won't Get Fooled Again, Baba O'Reilly.
Yeah.
They're all wasted.
Yeah.
Behind Blue Eyes. Talk about some of their lyrics. If I swallow anything evil, put your fingers down my throat.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Next album is 1973, Quadrophenia. The Real Me also is in that. 7, Who by Numbers. And then they did the film Tommy in 1975 with Anne Margaret. I'm sure you remember that, right? 78 is their 8th album, Who Are You? And then Keith Moon passes. Next album, Face Dances, 1981, with their new drummer. His name was Kenny Jones. 10th album, It's Hard, 1982. 1983, they split. Occasionally, they got back together, like they did Live Aid in 1985. Yeah. And in 1989, they did a 25th anniversary tour. In 1990, they're inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by Bono and U2.
Oh,
And Bono was funny. He said, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, that it's written in rock and roll that all you need is love. But you need a PA system, you need a good agent, you need some good songs,
yeah.
and you got to have a great nose. It's essential to have a great nose. And he said the Beatles had Ringo, Faces had 2, and then they gave Ron Wood to Rolling Stone. So he was kind of, saying, hey, with Pete Townshend's nose, you got to have a great nose.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. They had a full reunion tour back in 1999, of which their drummer is now Zach Starkey. I think that's so cool.
This is so awesome.
When he was a kid, he hung out with Keith Moon.
Yeah, of course he did.
I thought that this was such an awesome story.
I mean, can you imagine growing up with those guys?
Oh when you're a little kid and you're looking up to this drummer, oh my God. Well, and your father's a big drummer too, but still, I mean,
know. But you don't think of your dad like that.
No, no, you're of awe of Keith Moon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 2001, they got a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Unfortunately, they have no competitive Grammy Awards. They do have 3 Hall of Fame awards, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, we've talked about this before. So many classic bands have 0 Grammys.
Yeah.
I know. It's ridiculous.
It really is. It's like the wrong category, I guess. Like you can't do rock and roll.
No. It's like everything is poppy or, like now we're talking about like hip hop or rap.
Yeah, especially now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, they started working on a new album. And unfortunately, that's when John Entwistle passed. He passed in 2002, 57. All right. So onward. Next album number 11 is Endless Wire in 2006. It was their first studio album with original material after 24 years.
Wow.
Pino Padalino was on bass, and Pete's brother, Simon Townsend, was a second guitar. Not only has Zach been there since, the same thing with Pino and with Simon. So they're touring now.
Wow.
Their 12th album, 2019, it's called Who. And that was their first studio album within 13 years. So, and what's really interesting is one of the songs is called Detour, which was their original name.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. And they're touring with the symphony orchestra, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah. So when the CSIs started, all this CSI series, when the first one started, you remember the one with William Peterson?
That's my favorite one, the Vegas one.
Me too.
It's my favorite.
Too.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Oh,
it's like, oh my God.
The best. The best opening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then came the David Caruso one.
Miami. Yeah.
You
love
won't get
that one
fooled
too.
again. Oh, I love this.
They're the best openings.
The best. These are the best.
Yeah.
Then is CSI New York with Gary Sinise, Baba O'Reilly.
Yep.
They're all wasted.
I know.
It's so great.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
I know.
It sets you up to love the shows before they even start.
Are you kidding me? Just the beginning of the show, it draws you right in.
Exactly.
Just because of
you don't fast forward through the title sequence.
Oh, heck no. Never. And then there was a CSI Cyber with Patricia Arquette. I Can See for Miles. That only lasted for 2 seasons, but still, I mean, it was in the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was cool.
I loved really watching. Cool. Yeah, I loved watching those. And not that the shows weren't good, but they were helped along.
Yeah.
By the Who. They really were.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
This year they're doing a tour. It's called the Who Hits Back Tour. Spring segment was in April and May, and their fall tour will be in October and November. This past April, while they were in Tampa Bay, they had some technical difficulties. They finished with I Can See for Miles, and then they took a short break. During the break, one of the fans in the front yelled, "Do Naked Eye," of which Pete Townsend yelled back with some colorful language and said, "We don't do effing requests," which reminded me years ago Roger Daltrey was at MSG. I'm going to think it was about 12 years ago. And he had a couple people in the front were smoking pot.
Mm-hmm.
He's very allergic to smoke. And I can sympathize because I am too.
Yeah.
And he pretty much confronted the people and just said, hey, listen, if you're a fan of ours, you got to know that I'm allergic. Please have some consideration and don't smoke because it affects my voice and I can't sing.
Uh-huh.
But obviously, if you go see The Who,
yeah,
there's some rules.
Yeah. Smoke up in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Don't smoke when you're in.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
should be smoking in there anyway.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so also this year they re-released some of their albums and remastered it with a technique half speed, which produces a superior vinyl cut. My Generation was released on May 6th. It's Hard, which is a 2-album set, 40th anniversary edition, was released on June 18th and was pressed on heavyweight orange and yellow vinyl.
Cool.
I thought that was awesome.
That's awesome.
I saw it on Amazon. It's like $38, like right
yeah.
around there. On July 6th, they released their 3rd and 4th in the series, The Who, Sellout, and Tommy. So that's what's going on now for The Who.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're touring, they're remastering.
Nice.
All good stuff.
It's nice to see that they're still working at it.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
no doubt. So I love their stuff. And you and I talked about that. It's not like I love,
Right.
you know, but
I got every album.
I got every, yeah,
Right.
yeah. I kind of don't have every album.
Yeah.
I like them. Don't get me wrong. I like them a lot.
Me too.
I like them a lot. And I have a bunch of their albums. Their stuff is just awesome.
I liken them to the Stones for me. They're a part of my growing up,
Sure.
you know? And so when I do hear them, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear it. I turn it up. I sing
Yeah.
along. I know the words. They're just not a band that I cultivated. It's kind of
the same thing with me.
Yeah.
I know the players, and you're
Mhm.
right. I grew up with them,
Mhm.
you know, so they're close to my heart, but it's not like Queen or
Queen,
Led Zeppelin
yeah.
for me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're excellent.
For my favorite W actor, I have chosen Robin Williams.
Who's one of my favorite comics. I love him as an actor too, but oh my God, he is so funny. He's a genius.
He's a genius. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a comedic genius.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Robin McLaurin Williams was born on July 21st, 1951 in Chicago, Illinois. According to the birthday book, July 21st is the day of tragicomic controversy.
Ooh.
I know. I almost
Wow.
clasped when I read that.
Wow.
Tragicomic means having both tragic and comic aspects. And if that's not Robin Williams, what
my
the heck is?
God.
I have no idea.
Was his picture next to it? I mean, seriously.
His picture is in the book. He
Oh,
is listed in the
there you
book.
go.
Yeah. But crazily, I don't know.
Is that a word?
I don't know. It is now.
It is now.
In a quote from Robin, he says, "Life's a tragedy to those who feel and a comedy to those that think. So it can be a curse in that you find something funny in even the darkest thing." The book says, try as they may, those born on July 21 cannot stay out of trouble for very long. They seem to get caught up in exciting or unpredictable happenings, not of their own doing. But the more flamboyant the July 21st person is, the more likely they are to be at least partially responsible for it. And yes, Robin was definitely this, especially when he was younger.
Yeah.
You know, partying with John Belushi, stuff like that, you know. Those born on this day have a fine sense of humor that usually sees them through.
Wow.
And performers born on this day love the excitement of appearing in public and are essentially exhibitionists.
And he did that well.
Yes, their performance stance is usually highly physical and robust. I've seen so many specials and stuff with Robin where he's just go. He's sweating bullets. He's just physically exhausted. He's giving everything that he's got on that stage.
Yeah.
And the book keeps going on and on and on. Really, I could talk about it for another 10 minutes. But from what I can tell, it's just spot on for Robin. And like I said, he is featured and he's got a photo on there. Others born on this day are Ernest Hemingway, Don Knotts, John Lovitz, and Cat Stevens.
Mm,
Yeah. So he was discovered for the role of Mork from Ork
right.
in Happy Days. And Gary Marshall's sister, who was in charge of casting for Happy Days, found Robin performing on the street.
No
He
kidding.
had a hat out there for, people to.
Right. Give money.
And there's like, you want me to hire a guy you found on the street with a hat? And she's like, well, it was a really full hat. And he auditioned, and Gary told him to sit down, and he sat on his head. And so Gary hired him.
There you go.
Like,
that's what Mork did.
Happy Days turned into Mork and Mindy.
Yes.
And it was it did so well. It did really,
really
really
did.
well.
And you loved it.
I loved it.
You loved it. I'm going to just take 2 seconds here.
Okay.
There's an old movie theater on Route 1 back in the 60s, and they converted it to a flea market. And you and I went. As soon as you walk in, there was like a t-shirt place right on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking you were 3. You loved Mork so much. I bought you a little yellow t-shirt, and I had them put Mork's, the
triangle. It was like a triangle.
No,
right?
no. Oh. It was his face.
Oh, his face.
Yeah. So you know how they iron that thing on?
Yeah.
I think I might have a picture of you in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd have to.
I vaguely remember that.
I'd have to go back to the archives. But yeah.
I used to love that show.
You loved him.
I know.
You loved him. Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
I know.
I used to say Nanu Nanu too. Nanu Nanu. Shazbot. Okay. So Mork and Mindy is really where America was introduced to him.
Right.
And his trademark rapid fire stream of consciousness comedy with voices, impersonations, and one-liners.
Yeah.
And they had to add another camera to the show just to follow him around, because he improv so much. He was off book so much. They couldn't follow him with the 3-camera setup. They had to do a dedicated camera just for him.
He was like the king of improv,
I know.
Every time he went on somebody's show, whether it was like Leno or Oprah or Johnny Carson, even going back when, so much energy and just running around the place and hysterical. So
it's almost like he couldn't just sit and have a conversation. No. No, it was like impossible.
That would not have been him. No.
He had to just go off and all over the place.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah. But you could see that his brain just kept on working the whole time.
He probably reined it in a lot. Like if he had actually
let it go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
His first feature was doing Popeye in 1980.
Yeah. He was good.
He was. I thought so.
Remember his arms?
Oh my God, they were so huge. His forearms. Yeah. And he had the one eye closed all the time.
Yeah.
He was like, Popeye, and he got a note from the studio to open his other eye. And he's like, it's Popeye. I can't open my other eye. He's only got the one eye going. I think his really big break for movies in 1987 with Good Morning Vietnam, where he played a DJ and he ad-libbed all of Adrian Cronauer's broadcasts. That's all him. None of that was scripted. So every time he's on the radio, that's just him going. And they took so much stuff out they couldn't even use.
And that's a rule of thumb. Just
absolutely.
Keep filming and we could just edit it out.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it was different because Adrian Cronauer was a real person. Wasn't quite like Robin Williams portrayed it.
Not at all.
No. But as a matter of fact, Pat Sajak took over for Adrian Cronauer when he moved on.
Oh, how about that?
I know. I thought that was an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah.
In 1989 was one of my favorite movies, The Dead Poet Society.
I liked it too.
Where he played Maverick teacher John Keating, and he used poetry to embolden his boarding school students to new heights of self-expression, where Carpe Diem was the mantra. This movie won an Oscar for Best Screenplay.
By the way, Latin,
Carpe Diem, seize the day.
Yep.
Robin Williams considered this movie one of his favorite films that he did, and was attracted to the role of John Keating because it was the type of teacher he'd always wished he'd had. And he went to an all-boys school when he was young, and he was big into his studies as well. His teaching made such an impression on me. I remember not only the seize the day concept, but he does this thing in the courtyard with the boys walking. And when they start walking, they're all walking differently. And then as they do a couple of laps, they all kind of fall into step with one another. And he's like, and sometimes conformity is fine, but don't forget to walk the way you walk.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. And there's this other part where he stands on his desk to get a different perspective on the room. And he's like, as soon as you think you know something, look at it a different way to get a different perspective on it.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
These are the things that just, it's like, they're small things, but, you know, this movie came out in 1989 and I was, you know, right at that age where you're starting to build your own identity. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, this stuff makes so much sense. So it was really informative for me. 1990, he did Awakenings.
I loved that movie.
Really good movie.
That is so good.
Yeah. And Robert De Niro was in this. And I mean, it's classic.
Loved it.
It's such a sweet movie. It's such a touching movie.
It really is.
Another really touching movie was 1991's The Fisher King with Jeff Bridges and Amanda Plummer. And he plays Parry. He's a homeless man who's got mental challenges. And it really hits you in your heart what you think about people who are homeless.
Yeah.
You know?
He wasn't afraid to dive into stuff like this.
No, he was not. And he said that changed his perspective forever. You should take on things that help you grow as an individual. And these things definitely did.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you something. There was that serious side of him that was just so sensitive and so thoughtful. I don't know if he ends his comic stuff with that. He'll just make a statement and it's just so very thoughtful. Yeah.
He's got a depth to him for sure.
Yeah, very much so.
Sensitive soul, you know?
Yeah.
But then in 1992 in Aladdin, he played the genie. What I love about this is Robin improvised so much. They had 16 hours of material. And since he did that, they couldn't be nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay for the Academy Award because he improvised so much.
Oh my God.
But he was the major selling point for that movie.
Absolutely.
And he had said, like, don't make it all about the genie. Like, that's not why I'm doing this. And then Disney did that. And then there was a big hoopla about it. And eventually they worked it out. But the genie is one of those characters that stands up still 30 years later. It's so good. But in 1993, one of my favorite roles.
Oh my God.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
I know.
He played Daniel and Mrs. Doubtfire.
So funny.
With Sally Fields
and
Pierce Brosnan.
How many times have we seen that?
Oh,
I mean,
so many. So many.
Really.
And what's really funny about this is that, you know, when he does the meringue in the face?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It falling off into the coffee. That was not intentional. It was dripping.
Of course.
Under the lights. They were so hot. And so he did that on his own. It's one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And because of the improv, again, Christopher Columbus would use 2 or 3 cameras when shooting Robin. Usually just do one, right?
Right.
And he would get in makeup. And then he would walk around San Francisco like that to see if he could get away with it. Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, and what's incredible is all the voices that he was able to do. You know, the imitations, the voices. He wasn't afraid to, I'm not going to say make fun of, but just imitate different ethnic groups too.
Sure.
He just jumped right. Everybody had equal time.
Everybody did, yeah.
You know,
and I think that's probably why he could get away with it.
Sure.
Was because he did doing everybody.
Yes.
He was doing women, he was doing men, he was doing all ethnicities, young, old, everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus he was so good at it.
He was so good. How about when he did like little kid voices? So cute. So cute.
Adorable.
Yeah.
And then I want to mention another movie that I just absolutely adore, and that's 1996, The Birdcage.
I love that movie too.
He played Armand Goldman.
So funny. Oh my God. I just got goosebumps. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
He and Nathan Lane play a couple.
So funny.
And they are very gay.
Very.
Very, very gay.
And Hank Azaria is very gay too.
Oh my God. Hank Azaria is amazing.
He is.
And he said that after
I'm a big fan of his, by the way.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
After this, he realized that he did the voice based on his grandmother. He didn't realize he was doing it at the time.
That's funny.
But that's how it came out.
Yeah.
And Gene Hackman's in this as well.
One of my favorite actors. Yeah.
Yes.
Love this movie.
I know. I love it too.
it.
Now, Nathan Lane looks pretty good in drag. Gene Hackman does not.
No, when he dressed up, no, that was pretty funny.
But kudos to him for doing it.
Oh,
though.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mike Nichols required Nathan Lane and Robin Williams to film at least one good take of each scene, sticking to the script before they were allowed to improvise, because it's something both of them are absolutely known for.
Oh, Nathan Lane is big for that too.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, man. To have been on that crew, boy. That would have been
stitches
awesome.
all the time.
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, Steve Martin was supposed to have that role, Robin Williams' role, and Robin Williams was supposed to play the Nathan Lane role, but it didn't work out. Yeah. So they had switched him up a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. And Steve Martin had actually said that he had regretted not being able to do that role with Robin.
Oh, how about that?
Because they were good friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this movie is one of my favorite movies. It's 1997's Good Will Hunting.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Sean McGuire, Matt Damon's character's therapist, and he won the Best Actor in a Supporting Role Oscar for this film.
This was good.
You're talking about being heartfelt and being sensitive.
That sensitive side.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Yeah. This role here really encapsulates that, I think, because you really feel from him how much he cared. And it was done in just such a touching way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene, I don't know if you remember, in the movie where Robin Williams and Matt Damon were on a bench in the public garden talking.
Okay.
And it seems like they're the only people in the park. But due to Robin Williams being a massive star, at one point, over 3,000 people were on location watching that scene play out.
Wow.
And in 2014, after Robin Williams died, that bench became kind of a memorial site. People were leaving flowers and quotes and stuff at the bench.
Right.
So as I said, he did die in 2014.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he was only 63. That's
and he had a syndrome.
I know
that was really messing with his brain at that time.
Yeah.
So this year they've created the Comedy Hall of Fame, which they're just calling the Hall. And this year's inductees are George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Joan Rivers.
This is all perfect. Go ahead.
And Robin Williams.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
And some really great people inducted them in, one of being Jon Stewart.
We're big fans of his.
Big fans of Jon Stewart.
Yes, we are.
Dave Chappelle, John Mulaney, and Chelsea Handler. I watched. It was really nice. Cool. And they're going to start carrying that forward, which is good. I mean, why not comics? They do deserve a Hall of Fame as well.
They've made a major impact on my life.
Exactly. And
I mean, George Carlin.
Oh my God. All of these people are amazing.
Crystal and Robin Williams.
Absolutely. Talk about Billy Crystal. And from 1986 to 2011, they did Comedy Relief.
That was great.
Robin Williams, Whoopi Goldberg, Billy Crystal. And they raised nearly $50 million.
Kudos
for the
to
homeless.
them for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was amazing. And also, I've seen Robin Williams on Inside the Actor Studio with James Lipton. In 1994, it was really good too. I mean,
that was really good. As a matter of fact,
amazing.
I recently watched it.
Yeah,
and he was talking about his brain just keeps on running, and it's like, what is going on in that brain?
Yeah, what the hell's going on in there?
Exactly. Yeah.
He couldn't even answer that question.
No.
He went off and he did this whole thing about the question. And while that interview was being taped, a man in the audience had to be hospitalized because he got a hernia from laughing so hard.
Oh my God. Wow.
It's so good. If you haven't seen that Inside the Actor Studio,
it's good.
It's worth it. Yeah, definitely.
Time Life has a special series going on that they're selling 12 DVDs of Robin Williams, which includes his HBO specials, some of his interviews with like I was saying, the Johnny Carson, the Leno, that sort of thing, and some of the Mork and Mindy episodes.
Mhm.
So it's 12 DVDs for $100.
Oh, wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, yeah, and you get some booklets too with
Yeah.
it. I just saw the
Isn't that
thing.
amazing?
Yeah,
So that was my favorite actor, Robin Williams.
I totally get it. I mean, he was a fantastic actor,
Mhm.
but my heart with him, it's comedy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, it really sucks that he's not around, because these are the kind of people that we need right now.
Mhm.
The Robin Williams, the George Carlin, the Joan Rivers. Who was the
Mhm.
fourth person that they're inducting?
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor. I
Mhm.
mean, can you imagine if these guys were around right now? This is what we need. This is the
Mhm.
comedy that we need, considering what we're going through in this world right now.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, Jon Stewart said that.
Oh,
He
when he
said,
did, oh,
yeah, when you were talking, he's like, I miss him. I miss his voice. We all want to know what he would have to say
absolutely.
about this. Talking about George Carlin's dead. And occasionally he trends on Twitter.
Wow.
Because the things that he said are still relevant and people post. And so he's trends.
Yeah.
Because we need those types of voices, those critical thinkers. We need those type of people, because in addition to being poignant, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
And a wide range of people are interested in what they have to say, not just one small group. Those are the kind of people that build bridges, you know, and they make you think. They do.
Yeah. I definitely miss these people that just got inducted.
All four were fantastic.
Absolutely. How valuable they would be right now.
Absolutely. Nano. One last thing before we go.
Okay.
I read this book called The Power of When by Michael Breus. He's also known as the sleep doctor. It expands on the idea of night owls and morning larks. It basically gives you 4 categories. When you wound up being a bear, the bulk of people are bears. And those type of people are daytime people. They follow the 9 to 5 schedule well. I am a wolf. I am a nocturnal creature. And this is why I have such a hard time fitting into society's schedule, because I'm awake and alive at night and I can't do that, especially with a kid.
Yeah.
You have to be on this daytime schedule. So if you are finding yourself having trouble fitting in, go to The Power of When and see what your animal type is and try and adjust your schedules so that you can fit a little bit more comfortably into these regular daylight hours. So it does help.
I think we're ready.
Yeah.
We appreciate you listening. With that, we're out of here.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.